Okay, I got something a little different for you guys again today. Um, as you can tell, clearly this is not my garage, but this is my car. This is something I picked up over the winter. Haven't had a whole lot of time to do a whole lot with other than remove the tint off the windows. But one of the things I recognized immediately on getting this car was the brake pedal had slightly excess travel. Braking pressure is good. The brakes are firm. Stops on a dime. Just have to push the pedal a little bit further than I'd like before you actually start to get any braking force. Okay, so vehicles with drum rear brakes, sometimes, an issue like that can easily be solved by simply adjusting the rear shoes to fill up the gap in the drums. Well, this is a four-wheel disc brake car. No adjustments. So, anyways, I remembered years ago on my '88 Chevy Silverado, I had a similar issue that I simply could not adjust out. I tightened up the brake shoes almost to the point that they were, too tight. Just couldn't quite get the pedal travel to feel the way I wanted to. So what I wound up doing was shimming the push rod from the brake booster to the master cylinder. I've already done it on this, so unfortunately I don't have any actual content to show you, but it's not, like terribly worthwhile filming. It's just a matter of removing this suspension crossbar off of the shock towers and pulling the brake master cylinder off. A couple of bolts, which you probably can't see because it's too dark in there. At any rate, I remember in the past seeing some brake boosters having a threaded portion, a threaded nub on them that could be used to make an adjustment of this nature. Now granted, it's only been a handful of machines. In fact, it might have even been like an old Ford truck or something where I actually remembered seeing this from. Haven't seen it on anything else that I can recall. So when I was doing it with my '88 Silverado, I kind of pulled a similar kind of stunt. Basically what I've done for this car here is I've made just took a small chunk of this aluminum. I don't even know how thick it is, but it's quite thin. It's thinner than this piece of cardboard is. Not that it'll show up on camera, but I don't know, 10 thousandths maybe? 5 thousandths? I don't think it's 5 thousandths. At any rate, it's pretty darn thin. What I've done is I've taken this tiny shim of metal and I stuck it on to the end of the shaft that's coming out of the brake booster. So basically right now it has, in theory, conformed to this semi-spherical surface and taking up what I'm assuming may very well be an excessive gap between this push rod and the input rod of the brake master cylinder itself. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only plausible solution for why this could happen on this car. With it having disc brakes, it's also possible that the brake seals on the master cylinder for each individual cup are not returning or returning incorrectly the pistons. But I have no way to confirm that right now. All I can say is this little shim that I've installed in there, and basically it was just by a piece of grease, or by a little smear of grease that was on the end of this, just held it in place long enough for me to reattach the master cylinder. It's definitely got less travel in the brake pedal now. I just got done taking the car for a drive, and so far it doesn't seem like any brakes are dragging. Nothing seems excessively hot. I almost feel like I could stand to have a slightly thicker shim material installed than this stuff here. And obviously I don't have caliper with me at the moment to determine just how thick this material is, but this is one of those things where you can't go too far. You have to avoid going too far. But at any rate, I just thought that was, semi-video worthy, something to keep note of. I certainly would not have thought that an '08 Cadillac would be a candidate for, doing something quite like this, but short of changing the brake pads or installing new brake calipers, this cost me nothing. So, like I said, I might, if I come up with some slightly thicker shim stock, I may put in a slightly thicker piece in the days to come or weeks to come. But in the meantime, I'm pretty happy with the way the brake pedal feels at the moment. The only reason I've kind of gotten used to it with this car, but I was driving my friend's 2015 Lexus the other day, and well, when you touch her brake pedal, you stop, so it was pretty clear that there was a difference on my car. So at any rate, I just thought that this might be useful information for someone later down the road. And if there's any professional mechanics that actually see this and have better reasoning or better logic to chime in with, I'm all ears. But so far, looks like it's going in the right direction. So I'll catch you guys later.